Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we are reviewing the second episode of The Acolyte. Um, I'm not trying to get into all the other things surrounding all the hoopla and everything else for The Acolyte. I'm really just looking at the show itself. Um, I know that they've talked about all the other stuff I don't care about. Um, you can argue one side or the other. I really don't care. I'm just looking at this as the show. That's why yesterday, when I pointed out everyone was just stiff, it's almost like you have cardboard cutouts of people doing it. The rough animation, like what I do with my Lego figures, stuff like that. Um, Today, seeing the second episode, and I'm watching as they're doing the Jedi Fu, which if we want to say in the Disney Wars at this time in the Old Republic and the height of the Jedi was a popular trend. Um, I hate to say it, but really, the Jedi Order. I think Luke Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi has more power and abilities than what I really see out of all of the Jedi Grand Masters combined so far in the show. Um, I mean, because they're doing all the kung fu stuff and they're fighting and everything else. And one of the biggest things that was really kind of instilled into Luke Skywalker in The Empire Strikes Back is it's not about your physical strength. Remember, you're dealing with the Force. It it's in us and around us, and it binds the galaxy together. So it is a force that is all around everyone. Your metachlorians from the prequels, which people may or may not like, help you tap into that to be able to manipulate the force around you. Um, we see one Jedi that hasn't spoken, hasn't talked, has just been sitting there floating for over 10 years. Um, I don't think that would be a Grand Master at that point. Um, I don't think anyone would. That's a fallen Jedi. You wouldn't be holding someone in any high regard at that point. You're going to be counseling them, and I'll even take from Wizards of the Coast when they did Star Wars. They added in Jedi that were nothing more than medics and counselors and stuff like that to help people understand the traumas they're going through. All that. That's really, I think, what we should be kind of looking at. Someone to help someone like this. We didn't get into it as much in the West End Games as we did in the Wizards of the Coast version. But there are different Jedi encompassing every aspect. You know, some people just naturally want to help others. Some people are more, because your you had a counselor Jedi, which Yoda was considered more of a counselor, especially at the time that we get to see him in the prequel and the original trilogy, because he's not an active knight wandering around. He is there to counsel others, to help bring them the peace and the guidance that they need. Um, we also had, like I said, like a medic version of the Jedi. I should have grabbed the book, but I didn't. And then there are the Guardians, and the Guardians are what you see Luke Skywalker. They are the ones that go out more on the adventures and stuff like that. Everybody has their niche. Um, Captain Kirk, perfect captain. Terrible admiral, but perfect captain. Um, you have throughout different genres, people that are in places that are really good. Batman, great detective. He's not very good at being a team player because he's used to doing the stuff on his own. Um, you get the idea. We have people that are good at certain things, and then we have the Jedi Order being led by this one female Jedi of whatever race. God only knows what this is supposed to be. They just painted the lady green, for crying out loud, and said, "Hey, she's the obviously green is the color of all the people that lead." Um, she doesn't seem to have a good grasp on how to do anything. Um, Maybe that's Leslie Headland herself in that position. I don't know. Um, this, I guess, is probably why a lot of people have been really knocking it down. I'm not trying to knock it down. I'm just trying to give an honest review. That's why I don't care about all the other hoopla that's going on in the background. They're saying it's the gayest ever or whatever. I don't care about that. I'm just trying to watch the story as the story, see how they actually do this. But um, you have multiple Jedi's, and the gentleman. I don't know. I think I heard he was in what Squid Game or something. I never watched it. Didn't interest me. Um, they have him as a very bad kind of Jedi. I mean, he's supposed to be he's supposed to be a master. Um, Nobody has precognition. Nobody is able to look into the Force. Nobody is able to see the events that are kind of coming. Um, we're sitting here doing martial arts fighting, which is fine. It keeps some action going, but um, it's kind of dull. Um, Mainly because I'm expecting Jedi to be Jedi that George made. Um, we don't have a real good sense of Force powers, and you know, take it from my point of view because I've been doing Star Wars, and I don't center a lot on the Jedi. Because I always run the campaigns. I'm never going to say I'm the greatest writer in the world, and really, I create a world that the guys play in. So I'm always the dumbest character out there because I just blindly follow what everyone else does, and usually get into a character set that helps supports everyone else. I'm the extra gun. I'm a pilot and an extra gun on the ground or whatever. Because I got to take care of everything else. But these characters compared to everything else, George. I mean, this is a very watered down, pale version of what we've seen George do. And I don't care if you like the prequel trilogy or not, he showed us that Jedi's, well, not Jedi's, because that Jedi is a singular and plural, but Jedi themselves, um, they can act without having to always confer, especially when you're a rank of master. You can do things on your own accord without always having to get into a council meeting to figure things out. Especially if you're in pursuit of someone, that seems a little awkward to say, no, 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 just leave the person there. Come on back. We'll figure out what we're going to do. Um, then that tells me you have no trust in your fellow masters. Um, Yoda gave trust in the masters, even when they had disagreeing views. Qui Gon was always on that fringe because he was going with the living force and not, which ebbed and flowed a little bit more than what a lot of the other masters had. Um, they were going off of a more rigid look at the force and that, and they wanted to. So his view was a little different, but because he had earned that title and he had earned the rank of Jedi Knight, and they knew he was capable and they knew he could take care of things, even without being a master. I mean, you never saw Mace Windu in any of the movies have to stop and consult with Yoda to figure out, well, do we have to whatever? I mean, they did like updates because they're running a war and they're trying to be here and there and wherever else. But outside of that, they had a pretty good free reign to be able to try and handle things on their own as they needed it. And if they checked in, this is where we are and we're going to continue this. And then it's kind of a, do you need help or have you thought of this or that maybe you know, that's really your conference right there. And okay, well then continue on with mission and Charlie Mike. Um, I don't know. It's that's where I'm seeing things. That's where we kind of are. Um, the female antagonist. She seems like she's running around almost like she wants to be a Sith Lord, but she's running around as kind of a basic Sith apprentice that has just barely started. And maybe she has some martial arts talent, but she's not a Jedi. She's a martial artist, and for everything that the Jedi had been in the past, from what George had done, a martial artist coming to the fight was like Han Solo shooting at Darth Vader, and Darth Vader just absorbed it in his hand using the Force, and there it is. Big deal. I mean, when you can trap people, when you can hold them, you they did a little bit of trying to be able to see into someone's mind, which is a newer thing that they had done in the sequel trilogy. But there are ways that you could hold people, and then you could then put binders on them and imprison them and whatever. I don't know. This is really more of fan fiction than it is. And I think that's really where Disney is going. It's just high production fan fiction. So we'll see where Disney Wars goes from here. Um, and like I said yesterday, this isn't Star Wars. This is Disney Wars, and we'll see what they do with their Disney Wars continuity. Um, I don't know. It's kind of a rant. I heard the next one isn't supposed to be so good. We'll see. Like I said, I'm just trying to watch it as the show. You're kicking up dust and you're doing all that, which is kind of your ninja tropes of things that they would do to distract, so you can evade and get out of there. And um, it doesn't seem like it's the real Jedi that we remember, and I think that's why a lot of people are bashing this. Um, maybe there's some hope that somebody's got a better idea. But if this is the direction, then it might be a lot of bashing. I'm trying to keep an open mind. If you agree with me or disagree with me, you can let me know in the comments. That's fine. Um, I try to see the good in things. Um, I do try to understand that, we were very fortunate. We had 6 movies with one person's vision of what he wanted to tell. And even out of that, to realize that he didn't think he would even be able to get the other 2 movies after doing A New Hope. So he kind of condensed everything into one movie, and then he had to expand on everything else. So things had kind of gone in different ways than he originally intended because of that. So uh, when we say we like one movie better than the other movie or whatever else, um, and I know a lot of people had said they really love Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back was the darker, grittier one, but I really loved Return of the Jedi because that's when we really get to see Luke kind of build himself back up after falling, which was a good part of the story. And, you know, the original trilogy are really some of the best. I do really like how we had gotten to see Anakin grow up and kind of fall in the Force and become Darth Vader. But when Luke really kind of rises up and kind of doesn't fall to the dark side and he redeems his father at the end and they restore or go to restore peace, but then even in the expanding universe, I know that it took them like another 5 years before they had even taken over Coruscant. Um, it is what it is. Although I am having some fun because what the main character, Uh, the lady's name is Osha, and then her sister is May. So obviously, May Osha always be in some sort of violation here. Thinking of the United States occupational safety health organization. So, um, it's just one of those. In my mind, it's one of those. Well, we're definitely in violation here. They are not acting as Jedi. Although we see Osha, she's not really doing anything as a Jedi or even as something that a Padawan. I don't think she has any force ability. I don't think she probably ever did. Her sister has it, but whatever. Um, and I do know that, yes, in the first episode they talked about the two mothers or whatever. As far as that goes, I'm not taking it where everyone else I think is taking it. I think the one probably got married and had the kids, and then after that, she left her husband. Maybe her husband died and she fell in love with another woman. I don't know. I don't care. Um, I could care less about it. It's whatever. You want to throw it out there and it's just a little blip on there, fine. That's really about the best way, in my view, to do it. It's something that's just as a quick remark. We don't worry about it. Let's take care of the story. That's more important. And that's what I'm really looking at is how is the story going? It just does seem like the Jedi are not what the Jedi had been under George Lucas, though. Um, Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my rant. I always feel like I'm on a soapbox. Just um, that's why I don't really like doing a lot of reviews and stuff like that. Um, I know I do a lot of silly stuff, but I don't try to do it as big movies and stuff like that. And doing stories, I kind of enjoy doing them, but I do them for the guys, and sometimes I go in different directions that I don't think is going to be YouTube friendly or whatever else because I've stated before, sometimes you hit a group that want to enslave other people, but that gets to be an adventure hub for us to say, let's thwart this and stuff like that. And I have a group of guys that will always see it that way. This is a group that we have to kind of get rid of. And I'm blessed in that way. Um, so I can throw that in there every so often. We can always liberate people to help a civilization or group of people or whatever. Um, so uh, we'll see how the next video goes. I'll see you in the next video either way. We're always having videos going up every day. Lately, I've been kind of trying to fit a little overtime in, and I've been getting about 2 videos a day. Um, I, if I can keep it up, that's fine, but it does take time trying to get some of this stuff done, trying to get some of the extra things done. So we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.